Hey folks, welcome back to Honey Money SG. Now, investing your CPF is one of Singapore's highly searched term because everybody think they can beat the 2.5% interest offered by the CPF Ordinary Account. But should you really do it? So in this video, let us review if the new MoneyOwl CPF portfolio is worth a consideration, and I'm going to discuss some of the pros and cons about it. So I actually had a few MoneyOwl's video before, but those were really investing using the SRS funds. And I have not used my SRS funds in robo-advisors ever since I've discovered Poem's Cash Plus. But this time I'm going to talk about the CPF investing portfolio by MoneyOwl, right? Because that's a brand new product and I just want to go through some features of it. Now with the MoneyOwl robo portfolio, you realize that something is very similar here again. You cannot select or customize your portfolios, but you can select your risk profile. So whether you are a low risk, medium risk or high risk taker, they will cater to your profile. Ask you a few questions whether you are able to tolerate some loss, which I will go through later. And they actually offer 3 products: CPF Balanced, CPF Growth, and CPF Equity. So it's sorting from the risk level from low to high. For the CPF Balance, it's 60% equities and 40% bonds. So it's a relatively low risk profile because you have quite a high allocation to bonds, which are typically seen as a safer form of instruments compared to equities. The 10 years annualized returns is around 8.3% and the total expense ratio is around 0.4%, meaning that this portfolio compounds at 8.3% every single year, which is really not bad, right? Considering that 2.5% interest is the OA, and if you use these funds to actually invest in a portfolio like that, you earn like 8.3% per year. Now let's move on to the CPF Growth portfolio, which is 80% equities and 20% bonds. So a slightly lower bond percentage and a higher equity percentage because you are deemed a higher risk than the CPF Balance portfolio. The 10 years annualized returns nicely done at 10% per annum, and the total expense ratio is around 0.41%. So slightly more expensive and slightly higher growth than the balanced portfolio. Now lastly, for the CPF Equity portfolio, is 100% equities, 0% bonds. So you are really a high risk taker and expect high risk with high returns, right? Because the portfolio annualized yield is around 11%. with a total expense ratio of 0.42%. So all these numbers sound really good on paper, right? Because high growth and low expense ratio. Not only that, let's take a look at the pricing that MoneyOwl is offering right now. So from now till 31st December 2022, there will be 0% of advisory fees or platform fees. So you are basically investing in this fund for free. Other than the total expense ratio that is charged by the funds, MoneyOwl does not earn from you or anything because it's the promotion period. But you should know, right, after 31st December 2022, they may actually charge you an advisory or platform fee. I think it's the same as what happened to my SRS portfolio. They started charging 0.6% per annum after the promotion period. So that is something that you should expect. But otherwise, I felt that if it's just 0.4%, I think it's a fairly cheap fund to go and invest your CPF. So now let's go into the details of what the MoneyOwl CPF portfolio is investing in. Let's go. Alright folks, so let's just go through what is the CPF investing for MoneyOwl, right? So how it works is that first you will need to set up your CPF investment account if you don't have any yet. Just go and sign up with one of the 3 local agent banks and pass the customer knowledge assessment test. Okay, once you pass that test, your CPF account will be set up and then you can link it to your MoneyOwl account. And let's take a look at some of the fact sheet, right? What is actually the equity fund and the bond fund? Firstly, the equity fund will be Lion Global Infinity Global Stock Index Fund Share Class C. Let's take a look at the fact sheet, right? What is this fund actually all about? So LGI Global Stock Index Fund basically tracks like the world index, right? Because it is tracking under the Vanguard Global Stock Index Fund. So for this index fund, it has around 1,500 companies, PE ratio around 18.2, PB ratio around 2.9, annual yield around 1.8% per annum. So it's tracking very closely to the MSCI World Index. So you can see that it's really quite diversified, over 1,500 companies. That's much bigger than S&P 500, right? S&P 500 only have around 500 companies. And if we were to look at the country allocation, here is the allocation breakdown. We have United States around 68%, followed by Japan, UK, Canada, France, and then the top 10 holdings are mainly your tech firms as well. Apple at 4.6%, Microsoft at 3.6%, Alphabet, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia. So it's really quite close to the S&P 500. But I guess what differs is the percentage of the net asset value, because we are talking about over 1,500 companies. That's why Apple only occupy less than 5% of the fund. But since this is a global stock index, so I guess it will actually capture all the companies with the largest market caps. And it happens to be the companies that are involved in information technology, i.e. your FANG companies, your mega tech companies, followed by financials like your bank, right? And then we have some healthcare providers, consumer discretionary, and industrials. The rest are less than 10%. So that's for the Lion Global Infinity Global Stock Index Fund. Next, let's take a look at the bond fund. What is the bond invested in? And this is the UOB AM United SGD Fund Share Class D. And let's take a look at the fact sheet here, right? So this is the United SGD Fund. Basically, it's a bond fund, which means it has very little fluctuation regarding to the stock market. It's more like a stable component of your investment portfolio to actually preserve your capital. So the cumulative performance right now from fund NAV to NAV, 1 month is around negative 0.4%. For the past 1 year is around negative 0.63%. Okay, annualized performance around 1.88 over the last 3 years and around 1.96% over the last 5 years. For the portfolio allocation wise, it's actually mainly in financials, so 31%, 22% in real estate, 13% in industrials, and these are the top 3 categories. Whereas for country wise, it's actually mainly focused in Asia countries. So these are the top 3 companies by geographical location, mainly Singapore, China, and Hong Kong. Top 5 holdings wise by percentage, you can see that the top holding is only less than 2%. That's the Indonesia Bond Fund. And then we have all these smaller funds, all less than 2%. So that's about it for the bond fund. In terms of dividends wise, the last annualized yield is around 2.4% quarterly. So with that, let me take you through my own MoneyOwl portfolio, right? You all seen my MoneyOwl portfolio before. It's actually mainly in SRS, and I invested $1,000 in it. Right now, it's still in a loss position. But that's for the SRS, right? This is not the CPF one. I want to take you through the CPF. So let's go to my portfolios under CPF, and over here you can see that I have no portfolio yet. So you need to add a portfolio to start investing, and this will be a personal account. Next on your portfolio goal, you go to CPF OA. That's the new selection here. So grow your CPF. And how do you grow your CPF? You need to invest with MoneyOwl. So you click continue, and now they will assess your risk. Optimally, you want to invest for the long term, so I'm going to put the max here. And then next on the funding amount, you can either choose a one-time lump sum, or if you prefer to do a dollar cost average monthly, then the minimum is $200. So let's try the one-time account, $1,000. Okay, and this is a lump sum of 1,000. We go, before you proceed, they are going to warn you some of the things. So if you want to continue, then click continue. Okay, next they will go and assess your risk, so they will probably ask you some risk questions. Okay, it carries risk. Yes, I know. I'm just going to breeze through all these questions because you all know what you all want to achieve, right? I'm not going to tell you all what to do. You all can go and decide what you all want to do. Okay, and then next comes up the portfolio recommendations based on the questions. So they recommended me the equity portfolio, which is 100% equity, 0% bond funds. And then this will be the equity portfolio. And it will be 100% Lion Global Infinity Global Stock Index Fund, and the sector allocation will be what I went through earlier. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. For the annual fees wise, currently there is no advisory fee because it is the promotion, 0% advisory fee until the end of 2022. But it does include the fund level fees of 0.4 to 0.42% per annum, which is incorporated into the NAV. So once you do that, you can agree and then click continue. Next up, you need to confirm your funding details, whether you have a CPF investing account. Now, I already do have a CPF investing account with UOB, so I'll key in my CPF investment account number here. So that's all you need to know for adding the portfolio and funding your MoneyOwl investment. Once you have the portfolio set up, then you will link to your CPF account and deduct it from your CPF Ordinary Account balance. Also, if you do not have a MoneyOwl account yet, then you can use my referral link down below to get a sign-up gift, right? For the sign-up gift, they are giving you up to $60 worth of GrabFood credits. So either you get a comprehensive financial plan, you get any insurance coverage, or you invest or save in any portfolio. So you get $20 GrabFood credits for any of this service, and you can get up to 3 times of it if you engage in their services. So with that, I hope that it has helped you decide whether MoneyOwl investing is good for you via CPF. And if you have gained some good knowledge, do help me comment thank you here. I'll really appreciate it, and let's get back to the video. Alright folks, welcome back. So you can see that these are the portfolios that MoneyOwl is putting your money in, and maybe we should answer the question of should you invest your CPF OA. The minimum requirement you need is that you need $20,000 in your CPF OA, because only funds above $20,000 can be taken out of your CPF OA for investing in products. Also, you will need to factor in some transaction fees for the CPF trading, so that will be around $2 to $3 per trade. So I would say keep a minimum of $20,000 and $20 in your CPF OA, so that the CPF can deduct whatever transaction fees that they may need to deduct for your CPF investing transaction. The other consideration is, have you maxed out your CPF SA to the full retirement sum? Because you do know that the SA is earning you 4% interest rate risk-free. So you are taking out this 4% risk-free investment to actually go and invest in a higher risk instrument in equities, which may be a positive or negative return by the end of the year. So are you willing to risk that positive 4% for a higher percentage return or a negative return? I think that question is for you to answer. Now, personally, for myself, I only started investing OA when my CPF SA is near the full retirement sum. It's around 170,000 before I started to pull my funds out to invest in the CPF OA via another robo-advisor. So if you are interested in my thought process behind investing CPF OA, then I refer you to my very old 1-year video regarding my CPF OA and how you can actually maximize or optimize it. With that, thank you for watching. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.